Stop making excuses. Part 1, the lie we tell ourselves. It's not my fault. That simple phrase has crushed more dreams than failure ever could. It's the shield we use when we're too scared to face the truth, when we've already given up. And the worst part? We've all said it. We've all looked at our lives, seen our mistakes, our regrets, and instead of taking responsibility, we blame everything else. We blame the system. We blame our parents. We blame the economy. We blame the past. Anything but ourselves. But here's the truth. Facing it hurts. It hurts to admit you wasted time chasing things that didn't matter. It hurts to admit you gave up when it got tough. It hurts to admit that you are the reason things haven't changed. But if you never face the truth, nothing changes. This isn't about a quick motivational boost, it's a wake-up call. Because while you've been making excuses, someone with less than you has been working harder, pushing through and getting ahead. Why? Because they stopped making excuses. Part 2, the power of extreme ownership. Here's something uncomfortable. Every excuse is a story you tell yourself to feel better about doing nothing. I don't have time, yet you spend hours on your phone. I don't know how, but you never even try. I can't afford it, but you spend on things you don't need. It's not the right time, but deep down you know it's just fear. If you want to change your life, there's only one mindset that matters: extreme ownership. You take full responsibility for everything, even the things that weren't your fault. Because the moment you own everything in your life, you take control. And when you take control, you take power. But here's the hard truth. No one's coming to save you. Not your boss, not your parents, not your friends. This life, it's on you. You either pay the price of discipline now, or you live with the pain of regret forever. Part 3, the pain of regret. Want to know what true hell feels like? It's not fire, it's not demons, it's not torture, it's you, on your deathbed. Looking at the person you could have been, the stronger you, the richer you, the wiser you, the version of you who didn't make excuses, who didn't quit, who didn't waste time waiting for the perfect moment. And as your final breath comes, you realize the hardest truth of all. You could have had it all, but you chose comfort. You chose fear, you chose excuses. Regret is the worst pain because it can't be undone. You can't go back, you can't change it. But right now, you still have time. You still have a chance. You can still make a different choice. The question is, what are you going to do with it? Part 4, the ugly truth about excuses. Let's stop pretending. Most people don't fail because of a lack of opportunity. They don't fail because of their background. They fail because they keep making excuses. And here's the ugliest truth. Excuses are lies. Comfortable lies we tell ourselves to avoid uncomfortable truths. It's easier to say, I don't have time, than to admit you waste hours scrolling every night. It's easier to say, I don't have connections, than to admit you've never even tried to reach out. It's easier to say I'm not lucky, than to admit someone else simply outworked you. Excuses are elegant. They sound smart. They sound reasonable. But they are killing your potential. They are the poison disguised as protection. Because every time you make an excuse, you feel a little better in the short term. But in the long term, you've made no progress. That's the trap. And the worst part, we don't even know we're doing it. We've gotten so good at lying to ourselves that the lie becomes our reality. And before we know it, we're 10 years older, still stuck in the same place, still blaming circumstances, still wondering why nothing ever changed. Part 5, the moment it all changes. But sometimes there's a moment, a brutal, honest moment, where the mirror doesn't lie, where life punches you in the face and you can't hide behind your excuses anymore. Maybe it's rock bottom. Maybe it's a failure so painful it shakes you. Maybe it's someone telling you the truth with no sugarcoating. Whatever it is, that moment cracks the illusion, and if you're brave enough to face it, everything changes, because suddenly you realize, it was me, I was the problem, and that means I can be the solution. That's when the excuses stop. That's when you stop blaming your parents, your boss, your ex, the economy. That's when you take full ownership of your life. And ownership is power, because once you own the problem, you can also own the transformation. That's the beginning of a new life. Part 6, the victim versus the warrior. There are only two paths in life. You can be the victim, or you can be the warrior. Victims blame, victims complain, victims wait. Waiting for someone to save them, waiting for the perfect conditions, waiting for a miracle that never comes. And here's the dangerous part. Being a victim feels good at first. It's comforting. It removes responsibility. It lets you say, this isn't my fault. But it also means you give up control. You hand over your future to fate and hope life doesn't crush you completely. Warriors are different. Warriors look at the same pain, and they use it. They turn trauma into fuel. They turn scars into strength. They don't run from the fire. They walk through it and come out stronger. Warriors don't wait for the perfect time. They make time. They don't cry about resources. They become resourceful. And the truth is, every great story, every legend you admire, started as someone who could have made excuses, but chose to be a warrior instead. Part 7, the excuse that almost ruined everything. Let's get real for a second. How many dreams have died because of I'm too young? How many ideas were buried under it's too late for me? How many talents were wasted because of I don't feel ready? Let me tell you something no one wants to say. You'll never feel ready. Not at 18, not at 28, not at 58. There's always going to be a reason to wait. You'll always feel like you're not good enough, not smart enough, not connected enough, and if you listen to that voice, it will bury you. That voice is the enemy, and the excuse that says start tomorrow is the same one that says you'll never make it after 10 years of standing still. You either silence that voice, or it silences your future. Part 8, the price of excuses. Let me ask you something, Storm. What if the thing holding you back wasn't your past, it wasn't your parents, it wasn't your environment? What if it was simply your excuses? Now imagine this, 10 years from now, you're standing in front of a mirror. You don't recognize the person staring back because they're a shell of who you could have been. You had the dream, you had the talent, you had the time, but you waited. You waited for motivation. You waited for someone to believe in you. You waited until it was safe. And in that waiting, your moment passed. That version of you, the one who could have been great, they died, not because they failed, but because you never even tried. That's the cost of excuses. They don't just steal opportunities, they steal entire futures. Part 9, the breaking point. Every champion has a moment where they hit rock bottom. No money, no support, no way out. And in that moment, they had two choices, break or break through, because pain will visit all of us. It's not personal, it's part of the process. But what separates winners from losers is what they do with the pain. Some people let pain destroy them, others let pain build them. Some lie down, others rise up. And the moment you decide to rise, the moment you say no more excuses, that's when everything changes. Not immediately, not magically, but permanently, because your mind becomes a weapon. Your story becomes your strength, and your struggle becomes your superpower. Part 10, from victim to warrior. There are two stories you can tell yourself. 1, life is unfair, people are lucky. I never had a chance. 2, life is hard, but I'll fight like hell to create my own luck. One story makes you the victim. The other makes you the warrior. But here's the truth most people avoid. Nobody's coming to save you. No magical mentor, no perfect moment, no handout. It's on you. You can cry about it, or you can rise because of it. Every great person you admire, they weren't chosen, and they chose themselves. They looked at their pain and said, I will turn this into power. They looked at their excuses and said, you don't live here anymore. And they went to war, not with the world, but with their old self. Part 11, the battle within. The real enemy isn't outside of you. It's that voice in your head, the one that says, you're not good enough. What if you fail? Who do you think you are? That voice, it's a liar. It was built from fear, from rejection, from every time someone made you feel small. But here's the truth. You don't have to listen anymore. You can rewire that voice. You can replace it with something stronger. Every time it says, you can't, you respond, watch me. Every time it says, it's too hard, but you say, that's why I'm doing it. Every day you show up, every rep, every word, every step. You build a new voice, and one day that new voice becomes louder than all the doubt that ever tried to stop you. Let's go. Part 12. Becoming the person who deserves it. Everybody wants success. Everybody wants the house, the car, the respect, the recognition. But here's the truth. You don't get what you want. You get what you deserve. And what you deserve is based on who you become. You don't attract success by chasing it. You attract it by becoming the kind of person who earns it. Want confidence? Build discipline. Want respect? Master your craft. Want freedom? Conquer your habits. The life you dream of is locked behind the person you refuse to become. Every day you skip the gym, every time you hit snooze, every excuse you make, you're telling life, I'm not ready yet. But the moment you stop chasing comfort and start choosing growth, that's when the shift happens. You stop asking for easy. You start asking for pressure. You stop waiting for motivation. You become your own fuel. You stop saying one day, sir, and you say, let's go. Part 13, Building Unbreakable. You don't need to be the fastest. You don't need to be the smartest. You don't need to have the best connections. But you do need to be relentless. You need to be the one who refuses to quit. The one who shows up when nobody's watching. The one who outlasts every excuse, every failure, every delay. Because life is a test of endurance, and most people give up way too soon. They stop at pain, and they stop at fear. They stop at rejection. But you go through it. You make discomfort your training ground. You make failure your feedback. You make the struggle your signature, because you're not here to survive, and you're here to dominate. Part 14, Legacy, what you'll leave behind. At the end of your life, what do you want people to say about you? Do you want them to remember the titles, the awards, the accolades? Or do you want them to say, he changed me, he inspired me, he made me believe in myself? That's the true test. Not how much you've accomplished, but how much you've impacted. What you leave behind is not the money you made, and it's not the things you owned. It's the lives you touched, the hearts you changed, the person you helped rise when they were ready to fall, the encouragement you gave when they were ready to quit, the love you showed when they thought they were unworthy. A legacy is not about perfection, it's about purpose. It's about showing up every day, even when no one's watching. It's about pouring into others when you have nothing left to give. It's about being the example of what it means to never give up. Your legacy will be the story people tell about how you lived, not just what you accomplished. And when people remember you, let them say, they made me feel like I could do anything. That's the real measure of success, not just in the moments when you shine, but in the moments when you lift others to shine too. Part 15, the final push, never look back. You've come this far, but the journey isn't over yet. If you stop now, you've only scratched the surface of what you could become. So ask yourself, what's next? Don't let fear stop you, and don't let doubts hold you back, and don't let the naysayers control your fate. You've got one life to live, one chance to make it count, and this is your moment. It's time to break the limits, time to go beyond your comfort zone, it's time to push past the pain. The road ahead might be tough, it might be uncertain, but one thing is for sure, you are ready. Don't wait for permissions, don't wait for the right moment. Don't wait for the perfect time. Make it happen now. Take that first step and then take the next and keep going. You've got everything inside you to make it, but it all starts with you. The time for excuses is over. The time for action is now. Let's go. This is just the beginning. What comes next?